If you're constantly isolating yourself, you're actually not doing yourself any favors and you need to go outside and create a community. Welcome back to True Alchemy Academy, your space for all things ancient wisdom in the modern world. I'm actually really surprised that I haven't done a video yet on community, considering in the ancient world, everyone had one. And now we're so isolated in our homes that we don't even know what it's like to be around people anymore. And it's kind of frightening. The reason that we are, you know what, there are so many reasons that our world is in shambles, but I think not having a proper community or not understanding what it's like to be there with people is one of the main contributors to how out of balance we are. And the reason for that is partly, I think that, of course, houses and attached garages. So when you drive home, you drive into your garage, you're never outside, you're never seeing your neighbors. I think this is one huge factor of not understanding your community or not having that feel of people around you, but also like grocery delivery, setting boundaries, but really it's just like keeping people really far away from you. It's not healthy. Like I think we have it completely backwards. And the reason I'm saying this is because when you are in your healing phase, yes, it's important to isolate. Like, I took a whole year basically to be by myself. Like, I was doing side quests on side quests. I was going to islands in Greece. I was just making friends kind of like out of convenience, really. And not to sound like an asshole, but basically, like, people were there. I made friends with them, but I was always going to move on from that space. Not from the people. I still have a lot of good friends from there, but like proximity, friendship of proximity, basically. But it wasn't like settled, grounded friendships that I was pouring myself into because I knew we're on an island for a week. Obviously, like we can continue being in touch, we can continue talking, but we're not going to be like that, of course. Okay, so isolation is really, really important because you understand what you're feeling. You can kind of like decipher what's going on, why you're feeling XYZ, and you can do a lot of inner work, a lot of shadow work to be like, okay, I actually deserve a lot more in my life, blah, blah, blah. But then you have to leave isolation and go into community so that you prove to yourself that it's actually real. If you just stay in isolation, you're never actually going to get there. And I recently met a girl who very much isolated herself, didn't believe in small talk, and seemed really sad to me. And I just thought, this is kind of what sparked this idea because looking at other people, you kind of see, you understand, if you went outside more often, I think you'd be happier. And it's like really obvious to me, but I think to them, they want to stay isolated because it keeps them safe. Four walls that aren't going to hurt you, keep you safe. But you have to go out and meet new people. So basically, what I think happens with community, and this is really important on retreats as well. I see this all the time as a retreat leader, and I also see it in my ancient academy inside the community. I see it with my friends and I, is basically like, let's say, for example, um, oh, there's so many ways to do it. Okay. So let's say that this is a threshold. Okay. You know what? Let's actually do this. Let's say that this is a scale of like love and joy. Okay. So we have our scale of love and joy. Now we're going to do maybe from a lower point of view. So some people can only ever be here. And maybe they go up a little bit, but something brings them down. And so this would be like their peak. Okay. But it's pretty low on the scale. This is like from 0 to 100, and this is also to 100. Okay. Now, the numbers don't mean anything. It's just something to give you a visual understanding of how much capacity these people have for joy and love in their lives. Now, let's say another person has a really, really like low starting point, but they're able to shoot up really high, but they always like go really low and then really high and really low. So this person is someone who's emotionally like a roller coaster, who's kind of like a nightmare. So I would say these people kind of teach you like really, really hard lessons because they're up and down, up and down. So they have zero emotional regulation. This is no regulation. And then the red would be a really low vibrational state. So we'll just put low vibes because they have a hard time feeling love and they have a hard time feeling joy. Oh, this being at 100 doesn't make a lot of sense. I forgot how to make these. You understand that you understand what this is, I hope. And now let's say you have someone who perhaps is here. They're very high in love and very high in joy. How would I how do I make this make sense? This scale makes sense. This should also be a scale. But I don't know how to number it. Anyways, okay, so these people are always kind of like really neutral across the board. So they're high love, high joy, right? And so even though sometimes this person has a peak that's maybe above this person, you know, shortly after we're coming to a fall. And even though it kind of seems just as stable as this person actually has no ability to go sky high into love and joy. They have maybe one peak and then that's it. They kind of become more like sad and depressed again and maybe more isolated. And so finding some people that are able to be like the blue line is going to help you regulate your system after dealing with maybe the red or the green line because you're finding them and you're realizing, hey, oh my God, these people exist, this timeline exists, this reality exists. Also, they're going to help with your nervous system if you dealt with someone who is either the red or the green line. Because as you know, if you've ever experienced someone who can't emotionally regulate at all, having this up and down is actually a nightmare. It basically feels like you never know what to expect from them and you are always kind of on edge and you're so tense and you're so tight and your stomach is knotted and you wake up every day and you're like I'm feeling maybe at the red line, let's see where this person is. It's not fun. But when you meet someone with a blue line, you realize, like, oh my God, okay, every day I just is the same. Like every day just kind of feels like I can relax, I can be at ease, I can open up, I can allow myself to feel grounded and have space in my life. It's actually a really beautiful thing. And you would never know it if you didn't put yourself out there out of isolation. So, this is the reason community is so, 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 so important because it shows you the flip side of things. It shows you, like, hey, okay, this person, it shows you the flip side. So it actually teaches your nervous system, it teaches your mind, it teaches your heart that yes, I asked for these things and I am being shown them, I'm being given them. And now I have a community that I can rely on. And now I have a community that I can call upon. And now I have a community that actually like emotionally regulates themselves, which means I can then also learn how to emotionally regulate myself. It's actually a really beautiful thing, and you would never know it if you didn't put yourself out there. However, I will say the isolation period is really important first. So, if you're going through the isolation period, my suggestion, of course, is to join the Ancient Academy because if you're in that isolation, or you don't even have to, it's not like being reclusive, it's not ignoring your friends, it's none of that. It's actually isolation in this context, I would say, is just kind of pulling your energy back and going deeper within. So instead of like going for coffee every week, you just say, you know what, I actually need like to spread it out more. I'll come every 3 weeks or something because I need more time to myself. It's a long period when you're learning things. So I always tell my students, like, give it a year of just really, really pulling all of your energy back, really learning, really applying all of the tools. And probably within 6 months out of that year, you're going to feel a lot more confident and you're going to feel a lot more ready to go out there. And so you can go out, obviously, before the year, like whenever you feel. I just say a year because I actually think a year is really helpful for everyone. And then you also like have these tools. So you're inside, you're meditating, you're learning Ayurveda, you're learning herbs inside the Ancient Academy. And I just changed the name, by the way, from Online Academy to Ancient Academy. So my brain hasn't like clicked yet. But you're in this space and you're learning. And then you have a community that can answer your questions, which is a really beautiful aspect because they're all learning the same things and you can rely on them in a different way. And then you can go back out into your community and be like, okay, I can have more money. I can have more pleasure. I can have more joy. And I have the tools in my mind and in my soul and in my body to now attract those things. And now I'm going back out into the world, into my community. And maybe I won't be friends with this girl or that guy or this person anymore because now we're vibrationally a different match, but I will go out and try to find maybe more people who are on the blue line, or maybe people who are at the red line but they're like moving up to the blue line. Do you know what I mean? Because it's possible to move throughout the scale. It's not like you have to be the green guy your whole life. You can go from red to blue if you learn these things, which you can do inside the Ancient Academy, because it's it's not like the knowledge for happiness is not your birthright. Like it's not like you don't deserve it. It's not like you can't get there. Everyone can get there. It's just, are you going to actually like do it? Are you actually going to put yourself out there so you can do it? Are you actually going to, say, okay, I'm devoting time for myself to do it? So, in a nutshell, it's really important for you to isolate by being more internal, and then B, really important after that to go out and be exposed to different things so you can navigate, like, yes, I don't want that, yes, I do want that. And it's really interesting because the more you learn about yourself and the more you kind of learn how to navigate these things is, let's say, for example, you were a green line person before, because I've been a green line person before, I've also been a red line person before. When I was at my green line emotional instability, I attracted people who were also emotionally unstable. I also attracted people who were emotionally unavailable when I was emotionally unavailable. Then, when I went within and I did all the tools and I did more healing and more understanding of my mind and more somatic therapies, which of course are all in the Ancient Academy, I realized, okay, I was a part of the problem. So I went out, I started meeting more people. When I noticed their patterns of a green line person, I stepped back. I said, you know what? This is not what I want in my life anymore. And I can recognize it. And I don't need to make excuses for you because I don't make excuses for myself. I am devoted to loving myself. And I am not about to take back that self devotion for your comfort in my life. Like, no, see you. So after I got out of my green line, I also noticed green line behavior in other people. And I said, no, thank you. And I just found people who were more blue line like me now. Same with the red line. When I noticed, when I was really depressed and I was really sad and I like wanted to evaporate out of my body, I met people who had similar thoughts. And I realized we're never going to get out of these patterns if we all hang out together. And this is kind of, I had this thought at like 15, maybe even younger, because I was at the basketball court one day. I can literally tell you. So we're at the basketball court. I'm with one of my friends. I'm with all my friends from my neighborhood, like all the hood rat children. And of course, we used to like smoke hookah together and drink outside and like be at the park, like being cool, blah, blah, blah. These kids, I used to like clean out their knuckles when they were like fighting, like crazy stuff. I'm at the park one day at the basketball court, and one of the kids who I'm still kind of friends with, I don't talk to him a lot because, again, like I cannot be exposed to this for long periods of time. He said, I'm this way because of my parents, because of this. And he kept blaming his parents. And we were like 15, like we were pretty young. And in that moment, I like realized, oh my God, if I continue hanging out with these kids and continue blaming my mom and dad, I am never going to move on. I am never going to be successful or anything independent from my parents. I'm always just going to be blaming them for everything. And in that moment, I realized I can't. So I think at like 17, I began to isolate myself. This is when I began to really pull my energy back and like try new things in my life. Of course, 15, 16, I was smoking weed because I was so depressed, like actually depressed, didn't know what I wanted to do. Really didn't believe in anyone, in anything. I also was like, I think smoking weed for me at that age was amazing because I wasn't so focused on the matrix of life. I was more focused on like being with the earth. And I think that this really was the catapult for my life now because I would sit in my room and I would like feel my mind, like I wasn't like partying and smoking weed. If you ever smoked weed, you know that like it's not a party thing. Like you don't want to smoke weed and then go to a loud party. Like that was my worst nightmare. I wanted to smoke weed and lay in my bed and listen to Flume and the album with like the purple background and like the green, the pink. I forgot what the title was, but it wasn't Ezra. That's not the title. Anyways, that's what I want to do. Like listen to Flume, listen to like my CD collection, and that's all I wanted to do. And then I would like imagine myself like living this different life, which is cool because now I have it. So I'm not hating on myself when I was 15. Like I was super smart, really imaginative. I just didn't have the infrastructure to help me with what I was good at. I just wasn't in an environment that helped me thrive. Now I've created that environment for myself like 13 years later, so I'm very, very proud of that. But, you know, it took a lot of this. It took a lot of like understanding the tools on how to go from red or green to blue. Like so it's just tools. It's just understanding everyone has the capacity to move through any place they are in their life. I truly, truly believe that. That's why I built the Ancient Academy. That's why I'm a retreat leader. Like I actually believe that anyone can do anything. And I'm never going to say you can't do it. Like I'll tell you, okay, obviously you're just not putting in the right amount of effort and that's why you're not seeing results. But I'm not going to say like you don't have the capacity to do it because then I would be lying because everyone has it. So I hope this makes sense. I hope that you see the patterns in yourself and other people so that you can kind of understand like where you are first. And there's no shame, there's no guilt, there's no nothing. Just like be honest with yourself and look at where you are and how your patterns have gone in your life. The more honest you are, the easier it is for you to move on. If you lie, you're only lying to you. I'm not going to judge you. Like wherever you are is wherever you are. I'm not going to hang out with you, but I'm not going to judge you. Anyway. I'm not going to judge you. I just just be so honest with yourself and just say, okay, I need to move from red to blue because I don't believe in anything. Or, you know, I'm fucking crazy and my life is like this and I need a moment to just take a deep breath and slow down so I can learn who and what I am. Also fine, you know? Be honest with yourself. Understand this scale. Understand this is not a scale. Understand this graph. Be honest with yourself and you know, there's hope. There's always hope. I'll never ever not believe in people. I'll never ever not have hope. Like there's always hope for a better day tomorrow. There's always hope. I hope I see you also inside the Ancient Academy. I will put the Ancient Academy in the caption below so you can come and learn new tools to help you regulate and move on and really learn how to be. I also have a masterclass. It's a 30-minute masterclass with a downloadable guide. It has 5 ancient wisdom tools that I use every single day: muscle testing, dreams, altar, meditation, oracle cards. You can download it for free. You can join the masterclass for free. You'll watch it, and I hope that you adapt some of these tools into your life because honestly, they're so helpful. Okay? If you like this video, please give it a little thumbs up, subscribe to the channel because I always talk about cool things like this and I love having community. As I said, you know, community is the best. Bye.